a $1,500 fee for Labor May Factory, and then there were graded fees for each vendor. And so the budget committee, after getting a lot of reports, met, and we established we collected some information to make a recommendation. So what we've established is, just for comparison, when a restaurant opens, they have essentially a pre-opening meeting and then an inspection per year, and they pay a licensing fee of $250. So they get two examinations, and that's what they pay. Currently, Labor May, as I mentioned, has a $1,500 fee overall. And just for historical information, originally when we created that fee, it was encompassing because there were 6 kitchens that were there, and they were going to have long-term renters, and 6 times 250 was that 1,500. Over the years, since that vendor ratio has been adjusted, including in the last communication through the Gourmet Factory, there's well over 80 vendors coming in there, with anticipation for about 90 vendors coming in at during the course of a year. And some of them are using it long term over it, but for periods of time. So it's not like they're staying there necessarily for 30 days straight or whatever it is, but they are long-term renters. So there is but they've had this established relationship. And just so everyone's clear about what the other licensing fees are, when a mobile truck wants to come in, they have a licensing fee of $150. There are vending machine fees as well for licensing, which is $40. And if someone wants a seasonal license, which is established for consecutive days for events, for example, when we have the fireworks for July 4th, or we have the street fairs, some of them are multiple days. So if you're only doing a 1-day license, that's $36. A 3-day license is $90, and a 10-day license is $150. So just for comparison, these are short-term licenses, which have definitive start and end dates, and they're not like a restaurant that's going to be around. So based on that information, we also collected some information, which was in the packets, about how much time does each vendor evaluation need to get. And it really depends on the type of risk of the vendor. However, it still appears that each vendor gets a consultation, just like a restaurant, and then a spot risk assessment. And based on the risk assessment and how much time is going in, if you could see from the information that, if you're doing handling raw meat to ready to eat, like a typical restaurant, that would be a type 3 risk, which is about an hour. A type 2 risk means you're just making ready to eat foods, cheeses, hot sauce, marinades, etc. Cold handling service. Type 2 risk is about half an hour inspection, and a type 1 risk, which is like baked goods, packaged stuff, lemonade, etc., is also about a half an hour. So basically, each of these new vendors that are coming in are still getting the amount of hours, depending on the risk food, but it may not everyone gets the full hour, which, is something to consider, but they are definitely getting at least these 2 type of visits, which is similar to what a restaurant would get. So based on to take one step back, our current economic structure for the 3 things is we have 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 6 months, and 3 months, or 3 months.
3, 6, 1.
Yeah. So, and those fees were created. You have those numbers? Okay, you sent it to me. I just and those numbers, if you look at them, they're low, but also it seems that it's come to the attention that, for example, the 6-month renewal, the 6 months is 60, it was 60, right? But people were renewing for consecutive 6 months, and therefore getting out of the 1-year fee of like 150 or paying 120. So people could just do consecutive renewals, and it was the same thing for the short term, where you ended up getting a benefit if you just renewed, and our wording was inaccurate because we didn't limit it to 6 months in a 12-month consecutive rate. and limited to no renewals after that. So we definitely learned a lot over time, which is obviously what we had to reevaluate. So one of the things that we wanted to discuss with the board is a proposal that, potentially, Le Gourmet Factory, which is the overarching kitchen, and, yes, he's responsible, just like ShopRite would be if they brought it, for a fee. And then if you have small vendors coming in, they also would have a fee. But rather than, and I know I totally understand the impetus for the request to adjust the fees, because it would appear that, we want these small vendors to come in. It's good for small business, but it also doesn't negate the amount of work that the inspector has to put in to have these businesses be established. So it would seem that the potential for the amount of hours that are being worked in, instead of charging Le Gourmet a $1,500 overarching fee, which is a large fee comparatively when you're talking about, like compared to a restaurant, maybe we should bring that fee for the overarching fee down to like a $250 to match a restaurant. And we still need vendor fees because it's not going to change. Because if we anticipated that we're going to need 90 inspections, 90 vendors, that means 2 inspections, let's say roughly 180. Maybe it's not all, 1 hour, 2 hours, but it's the amount that would go into that amount of inspection is not, we are not getting compensated for the work with our current fees. So we could either charge Le Gourmet all of those fees, which is a lot of money, and I don't think that's appropriate. Or we can consider a different type of staged approach where if you're getting a full year, and I would say for sure, if it's a type 3 risk full year, you should be paying the $250 just like a restaurant. It's the same amount of work as a restaurant would be, and it's the same kind of food risk that we're doing. And for that same thing, so that would mean if you're up to 6 months, we would say $150, and if you're up to 3 months, $75. That way you don't get that doubling, because 3 months is $75, 6 months is $150. If you try to renew it, you're over your $250 already. Knowing that there are other small risks, if you're a 1 or a 2, we may decide, okay, maybe it's not a full $250 for a 1 and a 2, it's slightly lower amount of time. So maybe we bring those down depending on the type of risk to apply to the vendor, and just adjust the fees that way. So overall, the fee is coming down. Yes, my proposal would mean that it's less on the Gourmet Factory because each one of the vendors, but comparatively, it doesn't decrease the amount of work for our inspectors. So I think the budget committee disagrees with the idea that we should lower all the fees for each vendor. Well, I'll answer any questions that you guys have.
I feel like the fees should be close to the restaurant fee for the risk that each one's taking. I agree to that. But I was looking at it in consecutive, they're like, oh, okay, getting it for 6 months. I'm gonna do another 6 months. And then I'll come out and come back and just do 6 months, because to me, they're causing more work for Priscilla here.
Correct.
If they were
less
just,
money.
and then paying less money.
Right.
That should be allowed somewhere, and then we
Yes.
change the language of it for that.
Which is why also this fee of up to 6 months of 150 would deter it, because if you tried to renew, you're anyway above the 250 for the
Right.
year.
I would think we need to have something in there if they're trying to do a consecutive, to show them that they needed to come first and
Yeah.
just purchase the license for the full year, knowing that they're gonna work at least 6, maybe 7 months. But if they come back in the 9th month and say, I want another 6, at least they know they have the license for that period of time. I think that should be a language there. And then those that are a lesser tier, 2 or 3, look at the fees to see what, I don't know the numbers, but how many times they're in there. If they're in there 6 and it's a lesser type of licensing, that one, again, doing the same thing with them, with whatever the amount is for the 6 month, but not allowing them to come back in the next month and get the next 6 months, but then increasing it slightly so that they too would look at it and increase it.
Right.
Consider it doing it for the full year for the tier 2 or the lesser risk categories.
And how did you feel about lowering the overarching fee from 1,500 to 250? like the same as a restaurant for, because it's an overarching inspection, but it's not like, he's not really changing anything. I just feel, I agree, but I also think that if we're raising all these vendor fees, because the work is not by the vendor, it's not really for the facility, then it wouldn't be fair to double charge in that situation.
So you have some large establishment, I'll say, ShopRite, I guess. is
Right.
the only thing.
Correct.
Okay, so we look at a ShopRite, they have different little vendors
Yeah.
coming in.
So that's what they quoted right here.
Yes, so in that factory, that's what I was going to, they have the sushi shop, they have all these little things, and so I consider that as a stall. the same way.
Right,
Because
they
we
pay a
have
separate license fee for each one.
Each one of them has to pay, so whatever this type fee is, say for ShopRite, we should at least meet that.
Well, ShopRite's fee is a little, it's different because it's because of the big establishment and the space. So that's why the
I know we
ShopRite
look-
fee was like
I thought,
2,000 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
There
didn't,
was also something about, the spatial size of
Yes.
the establishment. I don't
correct,
remember the numbers.
by square foot.
So we need to look at their square footage as well. And the number of establishments that he sees in 6 month period of time to come up with the fee. I don't know if it's gonna go all the way down to 250. But, he needs some.
I thought of him as square footage, I thought.
Well, I do because you got these number
You
of
have
people.
place,
coming
you have
in,
to have
so
a
you
place
have
to
to have
have the
enough.
kitchens.
Well, I wonder if we just break down the square foot, the $2,000 that ShopRite pays to their square footage, and then you take whatever price that is per square foot and apply it to their to like gourmet square footage.
You know what that is?
So
I'd have to double check.
I would say that the only thing that, that's different in that sense is that when ShopRite brings in these vendors, they have like the set location. Nobody else is using that location. Nobody else is doing it. So they have set locations that these people are using the same kitchens over and over.
No,
Right.
but isn't it the ShopRite, like where they prepare all of the fruit platters? It's not the nut factories.
No,
That's
ShopRite covers where they do the fruit, where they do the hot food, where they do the meat, where they do all of that.
Oh, that's
The
all.
sushi is charged separately, the nut factory is charged separately, and it's a Chinese food stall, but I don't know
That's
whatever.
There's another.
So the bottom line is that those specific areas have their own fees, but that's only what's there.
Right,
They're
right.
not rotating vendors through the same space. So that's why I personally didn't think it was comparable.
And I just wanna add in, another thing that they also look for are, does the facility have hot water? Does it have the refrigeration? Is it at the correct
Right.
temperature? So those are things that would be on the
It's
facility.
on the owner.
Yeah, so,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And Priscilla training, if the person that's there is knowledgeable, that's the
Yeah.
other thing. That
Yeah,
would
so she
mention.
does that. She said that's usually with the one-on-one with the vendors.
Yeah.
Definitely need to increase the licensing fee for the vendors. Each one of them coming in.
I mean, they were very
And
low,
then
it was like
structuring it
60,
differently.
36,
Standardizing.
60, 150.
So he was absorbing some of it, but it wasn't
Correct.
still meeting on the time that Priscilla was spending with the whole.
Right.
company.
I think he was absorbing some of the fee, which is legitimate, but it would only be valid for X number of vendors. And what didn't anticipate that we'd have 80 to 90 vendors that we'd have to
That's where the
spend.
change was. So
Correct.
initially, I remember it was like
A few,
10.
yeah, 10,
Okay, I'll say
15
10 for the
vendors
year.
coming in.
And that was it. So he's looking at those 10 people being there for the course of the year. So this is going to be the fee. So his establishment, he has it up and running. The refrigeration, everything is planned. He brought in all that equipment, so they're not bringing that in. But, he's charging them a fee as
Right.
well as they need a license for this food establishment. But I guess we could really consider how much to bring down his fee and increase those vendors that are coming in, their fees.
I mean, that's how.
At least
Because right now
standardize
it's
it, because
Yeah.
it seems like it's all over the place, I think.
The
that's
types of
what's-
food being
Because
prepared,
right
I
now-
think.
Well, that's why the types of food being prepared, which is the equivalent of like a restaurant, which is why I equated it to the fee of the restaurant.
I was thinking like the food trucks and things like that. I forgot what those were. Is that considered a
That's
Yeah.
a 1 day
or
or
two?
10 days, 3, whatever.
Yeah, the mobile truck is just a 150 charge, but it's also it's like a movable restaurant, but it's smaller, so they don't have to inspect as many things, and they don't have to have the same criteria. So that's why.
We can reassess the,
Well, I'm
Maybe.
assuming that, he may want to make some comment back, I don't know, but
I don't remember. He did come with the presentation.
Yes.
I don't know.
So that's why-
It's
I don't know. For the data to come from Priscilla and the hours and all the comparable stuff, which is why we are now making a recommendation. And the type 1, 2, 3 is newer information. So based on that, I think that it should be based on time. A level 3 should have one, and since level 1 and 2 are like shorter inspections, we either do 1 and 2 together. If it's not, if Priscilla's saying, oh no, with a 1, I really only do max a half an hour, but a 2 is like, at 30 minutes plus 30 minutes, which is an hour, and a 3 is an hour plus an hour, which is 2 hours, and then, then we should break it up based on risk factor.
Risk
Yeah,
factor.
risk and time, right?
Those are the two factors.
That's how I
think.
would do, that's how I would,
Because if she's spending 30 minutes, each one of them, plus another
Yeah.
30
Plus another
minutes.
hour over here and an hour over here,
Right.
and then another 5:30s, and then another hour.
So
you know.
they're based on their type of risk though. So if she's got to give another 30.
the other question would be if any of this comes at off hours and we're paying overtime for it. Because I don't know what hours the kitchens are open, and if they're open at off hours and we're paying overtime, that's another factor.
She's doing, let's say, the fireworks, when is she doing, or something like that.
Right, but we paid for that anticipating
Right.
that, right?
That's
So,
what
so if we're
different.
doing after hours, we should also know that, how much that's gonna be.
I'll get that information from him in the minutes. I think that presentation that he presented.
What they have, what the usage is in the hours, yeah, we can do
Yes.
that. But I guess that knowing that, then, Priscilla could just let us know, and then we could come back with actual numbers based on that. But if we're all agree that we should break it up by risk and time, then I think that's an easy.
I would say that's the easiest avenue to go down because that's what's happening. And it's the same thing consistently over time.
Thank you to the committee. I know this wasn't easy. So,
We want to new business, item number 7, public health events and outreach.
okay, so you have in your packets, all of the events that are coming up. So, you can take a look at those, or you could look at them. There's the, Self-Love Maternal Health Retreat Day that is being held on the 13th at Englewood Hospital. The Open Store on June 28th at McKay Park. This is a free event. They're providing summer essentials. Lisa or Paul, you want to talk a little bit more about that, about the free stuff?
Yeah, that one is going, June 28th from 1 to 3,
It's Metro.
Metro Church.
Sponsoring it.
Okay.
So we'll be tabling, at that one. So.
The other is the Juneteenth Festival weekend. It's more than a weekend. It's Thursday the 19th through Sunday the 21st here in Englewood, in front of City Hall. Carnival rides and fun for all.
That was great last year.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. We'll be there Saturday.
4 days.
4 days.
We need 10
4
places.
days. Yes. 4 days of food. 2 including a weekend. And you can look at the others in the packet. So, we asked the community to come out and support. I'm just trying to see if I missed any. Did I?
We have water wellness, that is going to be, from June 27th to August 29th. It's aqua aerobics, aqua Zumba at the Cape Pool, and registration is open. And it's in partnership with the rec, and registration is going to be on the website, through Community Pass. So anyone who wants to do that, get on it. It's multiple days. It's filling up.
One of the classes is closed, I think, Tuesday night.
Yeah. We have Tuesday, Thursday, and then we have a Saturday class as well. So
Everybody wants to go Saturday.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, make sure to register for that. The camp is at 50 participants per class, you know, for safety and space. And the spring wellness challenge just wrapped up. A evaluation was done, and an after action report will be completed to, you know, do a review and assess, you know, how it can be improved, what went well, that kind of stuff.
We mentioned before the June, the blood drive, the mobile, it's through this month. And there's a $15 gift card. There's a flyer that we've done last month.
There's June 18th.
For June 18th. There's also the party at, the pool. That's June 28th. It's 7 p.m. to dyslexia, 3:30 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And there's gonna be inflatables and more, and we're tabling there. And then that's it.
We're on item 8. Is there any other business to discuss tonight?
Sample, do you want to talk about the citation?
Yes, so, thank you. So, Ms. Davis, myself, and Tamika, we attended, thank you. The Rotary had an event at the Bergen Pack, and, it was on June 1st. It was a really nice event where we were one of the departments that received a citation, from the Senate and General Assembly. And it was for the Rotary Club of Englewood, and it was for their Sorority Tapestry project. And they had a gallery upstairs with the tapestry. It's a little over 100 feet long.
100 feet long.
It was really nice. So.
And Joellen was part of the weaver. I saw you
Yeah, I did.
picture.
Saw a picture on the slideshow, yeah.
So it was very nice. And the health department was spoken of very highly, so.
Oh, wait, sorry. I just wanted to mention that we've been, doing summer hours since May, 18th. And we're going to be, doing it till September 4th. We're doing Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. and then Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And then just for the fun of it, sorry, we're gonna do 2 weeks that's gonna be regular schedule because of the holiday, and it's gonna be next week. June 15th is gonna be regular schedule, and then the city and us, we're off on that Friday. And then June 29th is gonna be a regular scheduled week because of the holiday also.
And just before we close, 2 things. Suzanne, welcome back. You know, we're happy to see you back at your father's, so welcome back. And condolences to Deborah Baldwin. You got the notice about her longtime partner passed away. So if anybody wants, Paula sent something out. If anybody wants to contribute to our expression, then give it to you.
Moving on to a public comment. The board will require a motion to open the floor to public comment. A second of the vote. Speakers have 5 minutes to state their name and address.
Ms. Bostic,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Dr. Sadler,
Yes.
Dr. Solomon, Dr. Silfer.
Yeah.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Any public comment?
Resident, anybody online?
No.
Okay. Sure. First of all, congratulations for the citation. It's really cool. Just a couple of notes. The blood drive is a blood mobile in front of City Hall. The website mentions that registration is recommended. I did not see anywhere on the website how to register. Pays to if you show up 3 hours, not fun. That's it. And then, just one last, I've been attending, AMJAC meetings, so this was, Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions, and they made it, abundantly clear that New Jersey is in the middle of a drought warning. So I just wanted to pass that information on to anybody. The warning is, that's only the effect of voluntary cutbacks on water, nothing mandatory at this point. And Northern Jersey has the benefit of having more rain than the greater New Jersey south. So we're not as bad off as some other places. Our reservoirs are actually quite good. Other than that, I just wanted to do make a comment about the gourmet factory, because I know that you guys have been discussing this on ad nauseam for the past several meetings, and really good presentation. Thank you for all the hard work there. And I kind of like that idea that they don't get the company providing all this service doesn't get this big bill for the, for providing that service, but that the individual chefs might not be able to skate under the radar for renewals. You can maybe make that surcharge and then give them a give back at the end of the year that makes it match. Like if it's a full yearly, like they book it for 4 quarters or whatever. That would be like a $250 fee if it was a restaurant. It becomes a $200.50 fee. Just a thunk. The ideas that you guys presented about balancing it out against, whether it's a class 1, class 2, class 3 type of restaurant. Sounds like a good idea. Fine. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Is there anyone online who wishes to make a public comment?
Oh, that sounds like, yeah, we're on the laptop.
Moving on to item 9. Board of Health desires to discuss employment matters relating to contract to
Personnel.
personnel. State of New Jersey permits the exclusion of public from these types of discussions. Going into closed sessions requires a motion and a second.
Ms. Bostick,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Dr. Sadler,
Yes.
Dr. Solomon,
Yes.
Dr. Saper,
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
And of course, my cue.
Thank you.
Take care.
Next, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.